Minister Karin Kneissel, Mayor Michael Ludwig, Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that if Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Johann Strauss would be here today, they would have loved the wonderful piece we all have heard. And I want to say that it's good to see Vienna going on with the most fantastic musical tradition in the world. Because music is a universal language. Music is the language of peace. Music is probably the best language we could have in the United Nations, and I think that this ceremony could not have been starting better than with this wonderful piece, wonderfully composed and wonderfully played. Thank you very much to all those that make it possible, including, of course, the Federal Ministry. I want to thank especially our host country of Austria and our host city of Vienna. And it is a pleasure to join you all for this important occasion, and I congratulate all my colleagues who serve in the United Nations here. Today we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Vienna International Centre. Next year we mark the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. So this is a time to take stock and to reflect on our global mission, forged in the ashes of war, to prevent any repetition of the genocide that took place during the Holocaust and to enable succeeding generations to live in dignity and larger freedom. Sadly, after all these years, we still have far to go. 2 weeks ago, I visited Christchurch, New Zealand, where I expressed my solidarity with the Muslim community after the horrific attacks on 2 mosques. In the past few weeks, we have also seen deadly attacks on churches in Sri Lanka and Burkina Faso and on a synagogue in California. We must be more vigilant than ever in the face of corrosive hate and violent extremism online and offline. And while all threats remain, new challenges have erupted. We have a few short years for decisive action on climate change, which poses a different kind of threat to our planet. The whole international community must embrace our duty to promote peace and work for justice and human rights on a healthy planet. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is our roadmap, and the Vienna headquarters of the United Nations plays a vital role in our efforts. From the adoption of the Vienna Declaration on Human Rights to landmark conventions on transnational organized crime, human trafficking, and migrant smuggling, illicit firearms, drugs, and corruption, Vienna has hosted many milestones of international cooperation. And the Vienna-based parts of our United Nations family promote cooperation in outer space, peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and advanced technologies to support development and mitigate climate change. On these anniversaries, let us reaffirm the core values of our United Nations and build on the progress we have achieved. I thank all my colleagues for your dedication and wish you every success in your essential work here in Vienna and around the world. You are privileged to work in a wonderful city. I remember coming to Vienna for the first time in '73 with my wife. We came in our car from Lisbon a few months after being married. To come from Lisbon to Vienna in our own car in '73 means that we really wanted to come and see this wonderful city. And having worked in other headquarters of the United Nations, I can tell you that I always heard our colleagues in Vienna referring that the conditions that were given to them by the Austrian government were particularly favorable, to the extent that many decided to retire and go on living in Austria. I think this is the best tribute we can pay to the fantastic hospitality of our host city and our host country. I want so to thank again the people of Austria and the people of Vienna for your wonderful hospitality and support. Vielen Dank.